You might be wondering how this simple math problem can explain something complex like machine learning. It can. If you listen to me for just 5 minutes, you will understand the core logic behind machine learning. And I promise you, till the end of this video, all of this will finally start making sense. And you will know exactly what you need to do to become a data scientist. If I ask you to fill these question marks, it'll probably take you 2 seconds to do it. It is because you can identify the pattern in the data very easily. Now, if you slow down and observe what just happened in your brain when you found answers to those question marks, then you will start understanding machine learning. For the first 3 lines, you know what is the input and what is the output. This is also known as model training data. And the last line is known as the future prediction, where I know the input but want to predict how much output it will generate. Let us visualize it to understand it better. 10 goes inside the box, 20 comes out. 20 goes inside the box, 40 comes out. 15 goes inside the box, 30 comes out. So what's happening inside the box? The numbers are doubling. Based on this information, if I ask you, tell me what will come out if 40 goes inside the box, you will say 80 immediately, because you figured out that the numbers are getting multiplied by 2. You found the pattern between the input and the output on the given data. This pattern is also known as the machine learning model. And please keep in mind, it is different from the machine learning algorithm. Mathematically, it can be written as y is equal to 2x. Y is the output and x is the input. Basically, whatever is the input, just double it. So now you have this mathematical equation, and using that, you can tell me what will be the output of this box for any given number. Whatever number I provide as input, you will double it, and that will become output. This is also known as making predictions. You took an input and gave it to the model, and the model gave an output, that is the prediction. But wait, how did you find the model or the equation in the first place? Once again, if you slow down and think how you were able to understand that the numbers are doubling inside the box, you will realize that your brain tried many patterns in a fraction of a second to finally select this pattern. You understood that the output is double the input, and it is so effortless that you don't even notice it. Your brain took a set of steps to finally arrive at the answer, and mathematically, a set of steps is called an algorithm. So if the same thing is to be done by a machine, then we will have to instruct it to try different patterns step by step. And using this algorithm, using these steps, the machine will be able to find the hidden pattern in the data between the input and the output. This is known as a machine learning algorithm. So to sum it up, machine learning is the ability to learn past data patterns using algorithms, and based on the learnings, predict the future data patterns. And if you can predict future data patterns, then you are a highly valuable person. Later in this video, I'll help you understand why IT companies pay such high salaries to machine learning engineers and data scientists. But before you can understand that, you need to see the big picture. Because before you can do machine learning, you need some data to learn. And the journey to machine learning begins with storing data. So where can you store data? If you have a small amount of data, then it can be stored in the humble yet mighty Excel sheet. And by small, I mean around 10 MB to 20 MB Excel files. You will be surprised how much data that can hold. For example, a 10 MB Excel file can contain hundreds of thousands of rows of data if there are just a few columns. Now, if the data is large, like in hundreds of GBs, and Excel sheets cannot store them, then you can use any one of the popular relational database management systems like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, and many more. Again, if the data is large, like in terabytes, and these relational databases also cannot store them, then we can use any one of the big data softwares like Hadoop, Cloudera, Spark, MongoDB, Databricks, etc. The list is huge. One of the confusions I have seen in students about big data is that they think big data is AI or big data is machine learning. The truth is, big data is just another way to store data. And we use big data to create machine learning or deep learning models. These big data platforms use distributed computing to handle large amounts of data. The important thing to note about big data is it can store data that can be either structured, like rows and columns, or even unstructured, like text, images, videos, logs, etc. So now we have this data stored. What is the next most natural step? It is to visualize it and tell a story that is hidden in the data by creating charts and graphs on it, and then creating dashboards using multiple charts and graphs. Popular tools in the market to create these dashboards are Power BI from Microsoft, Looker from Google, Tableau, Zoho, Domo, etc. And you can use any one of these to create a good dashboard. Creating these dashboards is also known as business intelligence. And this name makes sense because these dashboards help to understand what happened in the past and make intelligent decisions for the future based on it. For example, if you see that your sales have been going down in the last 6 months, then you can check if the sales are going badly only for a particular area. If yes, then you can check the sales team of that particular area and see if you need to hire new managers. Or you may see that your shoe sales are rising in a particular area because of an ad campaign done by a rock star, and you can increase the production capacity to meet the demand for these shoes in the next 6 months. Now, these dashboards can only tell you what happened in the past, and you are expected to extrapolate what will happen in the future and make business decisions. So everyone asks this question, why can't this smart computer do that extrapolation for me? And the answer was, well, yes, why not? And this is where machine learning was used. Machine learning algorithms understood the hidden patterns in the past data better than humans, and hence produced more accurate predictions for future data patterns. Using this information, companies can make better decisions for the future. For example, based on the machine learning forecasts, an ice cream company can find out how much raw materials they should purchase to produce enough ice cream for the summer season next year. Using a machine learning classification model, a bank can find out if this insurance claim is fraudulent or not. Using another machine learning classification model, the bank can decide should we approve this loan or not. These informed decisions will bring more profits to the organization, and this is the exact reason why they pay huge salaries to machine learning engineers and data scientists who can generate these predictions for them by using any one of the machine learning algorithms. Which machine learning algorithm? It depends on the business problem. For example, if you want to predict continuous numbers like sales, profit, demands, etc., then you will use regression algorithms like linear regression, decision tree regressor, random forest regressor, XGBoost regressor, artificial neural networks, time series, etc. Or if you want to predict a class like yes or no, approve or reject, priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, then you will use classification algorithms like logistic regression, decision tree classifier, naive-Bayes classifier, support vector machines, artificial neural networks, etc. If you want to do any kind of image recognition like face recognition, self-driving cars, or cancer detection in X-rays, then use deep learning algorithms like convolutional neural networks, faster region-based convolutional neural networks, faster RCNN, You Only Look Once, the famous YOLO, and Inception V3, the Google Net, etc. If you want to find hidden groups in the data, then use clustering algorithms like k-means clustering, hierarchical clustering, or DB-scan, so on and so forth. There are machine learning algorithms for every type of business problem, and the list is huge. As a data scientist, you are expected to know which machine learning algorithm to use and when. It may seem overwhelming right now, but with a step-by-step learning approach, you can master these in about 6 months easily, and I'll discuss this, how to do that shortly. Now, where do I run these machine learning algorithms? So there are many programming languages in the market like R, Python, PySpark, TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, or tools like Microsoft, Azure ML, Amazon, SageMaker, IBM SPSS, RapidMiner, etc. There is a long list of programming languages or tools to choose from. But the important thing to understand about machine learning algorithms is that these are mathematical concepts, just like basic algorithms of addition, subtraction, averaging, etc. For example, if you take an average of 10 and 20, it will be 15. In Excel sheet, in R, Python, PySpark, everywhere. It will be the same because it's mathematics. It doesn't change. Similarly, if you run a machine learning algorithm with the same hyperparameters on a given data, then the results will be similar in all the platforms, be it R, Python, Azure ML, SageMaker, etc. Only the coding syntax will change. And this is a very good thing, because once you have learned how the machine learning algorithm works, then you know them for life. Just like you know your basic maths algorithm like addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. since your childhood. Again, to sum up, you use the past data and learn the patterns hidden in it using any one of the machine learning algorithms. And this creates a machine learning model. And using this model, you make predictions for the future. All of this can happen in any of the programming languages or tools that I just described. Now, what is the fastest way to learn all of this and become a data scientist? I can tell you, with 14 years of work experience in the IT industry, unfortunately, there is no shortcut to this. If anyone is selling you a course saying that you will be a machine learning expert in just 4 weeks, then it is probably a scam, and stay away from it. Understanding machine learning algorithms and their applications is like learning how to drive a car. You can understand the basics in 20 days, but it will take you months to become good at it. I recommend that you commit yourself to at least 6 months of learning if you are serious and want to make a career in data science. The step-by-step approach that worked for me when I started learning data science is like this. Step 1. Understand that you don't have to know everything. This is the number one challenge every aspiring data scientist faces. It is easy to get overwhelmed by the enormous amount of algorithms and concepts scattered all over the internet. Please understand, no one can know all of it. You need to focus on those handful of concepts that are used every day in the jobs while solving business problems. For example, when you learn data manipulation in Python using pandas, you don't need to know all the functions present in that library. You just need to practice 20 to 30 most commonly used functions to get started, and then keep increasing your knowledge slowly. Step 2. Learn the basic statistics required for machine learning. I recommend just one book, Head First Statistics by Don Griffiths. This book will change the way you look at numbers. It has helped me immensely when I started my machine learning journey. The book takes you from understanding the basics like mean, median, mode, hypothesis testing, data distribution, etc. up to linear regression, all in a fun and easy to understand way. Step 3. Learn from someone who has practical experience. Machine learning trainers who are also working professionals in the IT companies are the best because they provide you with the real knowledge needed to work in the industry. Join any institute with a good machine learning and data science program spanning at least 3 to 4 months. Typically, the classes happen on the weekends and practice homework is assigned during the weekdays so that you can process what you learned during the weekend. If you are from a non-programming background, then I highly recommend that you start your journey by learning the basics of Excel, SQL, and any dashboard tool like Power BI or Tableau, and then start your data science journey. Step 4. Solve as many case studies as possible. Struggle with as many new and unknown data sets as possible. Remember, there is no shortcut to learning. The more cases you solve, the more you will learn and become confident in the job interviews. Kaggle is a very good starting point to find many case studies and datasets. I have also created some end-to-end case studies on my website, thinkingneuron.com. I have given the link in the description for both of these. Step 5. Keep a long-term learning goal. If you have to read one book on machine learning, then read this one, Introduction to Statistical Learning. It is available for free for both R and Python versions. It will take you some time before you can finish this, so it's a long-term reading material. Set a goal of 6 to 7 months to finish it slowly. Once you are done with the book, you will start feeling very confident about your machine learning understanding. Lastly, I thank you for the time that you have given me and wish you a very successful career ahead. If this video was helpful to you, please like it and share it with your friends. Let me know if there is any topic in this video that you want me to deep dive into the next one. This is Farooq Hashmi from thinkingneuron.com.